This computer, and here we go. Okay, guys, this is our February meeting. We didn't meet in January or December. Is that correct? Oh no, we're in Okay, you know what? We're in January. I'm in the wrong month, so we're in January. I don't really have anything much to talk about. I just want to see how everybody's doing. And a couple of things that are going on right now is Mercedes is helping me start the San Diego chapter up. We're going to start rolling that out here in the next couple of months.
Went to the USO today. They're good with it.
Nice. Is it a good location?
It is. It will not be a viable location for the hackathon in the fall because it's too small. But it's perfect for a starter location for us because you could probably fit up to 10 people out there in the general room, and they are all over it. They're like, yes, yes, yes. Perfect. They are what they call a charter USO, which means they don't get their money from the national USO. So when you donate, you need to donate to the San Diego USO, or you need to, if you donate nationally, you need to specify it's for the San Diego USO in order for part of it to get there. But they are all about the whole spouse thing and MilSpouse Connect and getting things going for spouses. And they're like, heck yeah, come on in and meet anytime. Just let us know. Perfect.
Nice. So that's Mercedes and I, and Jessica, I texted her and she's like, yeah, I'd love to help out. So she's going to help out as well. So we're going to try to do the San Diego chapter here soon. We're going to do the hackathon in San Diego in the fall. We're looking at locations and we're looking at dates. So that's to be determined. I got an email from someone that's a San Diego-based company, and they're looking for devs. They're looking for, they want to grow out their developmental team, but I just barely emailed them back. I'm like, what do you want? Do you want front end? Do you want back end? Are you looking for full stack? What's your stack? Are you allowing remote? And I didn't get a chance to talk to him yet. So we'll see what happens with that. Maybe we'll get more job opportunities. That's all I really have. Do you guys want to talk about what's going on with your chapter, or what you guys need help with? Or I'm going to give it to you guys. Let's move over to whoever wants to talk.
Well, Toyin, I'll start since you and I met together this week. It was cool to see you in person.
I know, it was nice.
That was so
sweet.
And I started a new account at Free Code Camp and started from scratch with their 300, because we talked about doing that as a starter thing, and started with their 300-hour certification. And I'm already halfway through it with 4 hours in, because a lot of it's review, right? The whole HTML, CSS, getting that to review. So I'm halfway in with 4 hours under my belt, hoping to finish it before we have our first meeting with the 5 projects, hoping to have that all done before we have our first MilSpouse Coders meeting in March here.
So you want to get your front end certificate done before we do.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's my goal. That's my goal. Fingers crossed. Got a couple of things in the fire before that happens, but I'm putting in an hour a day, having fun with it. So, and it's not taking that long because so much of it is review. And then the 1 or 2 new things, like iterations, indefinite iterations, how making the ball bounce and stuff, I hadn't done before with Udemy or with Udacity or with Treehouse. But because I'd done enough of the other stuff, it's intuitive. It's like, oh, got it. Okay, this is just one more command to write in, one more piece of the code to put together. So that's good.
Do you like it? Do you like the Free Code Camp?
I like it so far because they give you one little snippet and you're doing it. So it's little baby step bits.
One exercise
right.
in it. Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, but I also know a lot of the lingo already, and I'm quite familiar with what they're working on because I've been doing it. So we're there. So I'm hoping to do that because I think that's a good viable option for somebody who's a kinesthetic learner to be able to do the little bits. Now, it's not a repetitive learning. It's not a mastery learning thing. You're just going through. Mm-hmm. So hopefully at the end, they'll really go, hey, really, no, use the Google. Everybody's using the Google. This is how you do this to make this happen. You don't have to go back into the lessons and redo it to make your 5 projects to be able to get the certification. So I don't know. I think it's good because it links directly to your LinkedIn and your Facebook, whatever else you're using at the end to be able to show what you've done for your certification. I think that's a brilliant thing. I'll let you know when I get to those projects. whether or not I think they explain enough to the basic person. I'm trying to do it through the eyes of somebody who hadn't coded before for that. I gave Jessica Flora is the programs coordinator at the USO here, and I gave her one of the stickers, and I gave her your calling card, Diane, as well as my own calling card. And she's like, oh man, we can help market this. We could help promote it and get it going. We really want to do this with the spouses. This is fantastic. So they were all in for that. Yeah. That's all I got.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. Great. Anybody else want to go next?
I can. We've got Coffee and Code coming up.
Oh,
So
yes.
On Monday at noon Eastern is going to be our Microsoft panel, Coffee and Code. Now, I will not be hosting. I was hoping to, but I start my internship that day, so I will not be.
Right?
I'm sorry?
Advertise it. I have to advertise this Coffee and Code panel on our social media.
Mm-hmm.
Is that's what it's called? Is there a panel of people, or is it just one?
It's going to be a panel of people. We got a couple. There's like 3, I think. John, does that sound right? You remember? The fabulous Jen Perry has been doing all of the legwork. Is that right, John?
Yes.
Okay. Jen has been doing all the legwork because she had the contact when she was at Grace Hopper. She set everything up. So she's going to end up doing the hosting. She said, you know what? And it makes sense. They're her contacts. She's done all the legwork. I just set up the event for Facebook. And then John said, put it up on the webpage. So Jen's going to be hosting that. In fact, hopefully we'll have a really good turnout. I know it's the middle of the day. That gets hard. But I'm excited to see the recording and see what they discuss. We also have the February Coffee and Code already scheduled. I think that's the 6th. What day is scheduled for? 6th, and that's going to be in the evening. So that's 8 p.m. Eastern on the 6th. And that's going to be with Lauren Hassan, I think is the last name.
Yes, it is.
From Developer, and it's going to be about how to really get the money, get paid for what you do, what you're worth. So I think that will be, I think for anybody, that's going to be a worthwhile meetup. So that's what we have for the next 2 months. And if anybody has any ideas or suggestions for March or April, let John, Autumn, or myself know, and we'll go from there.
Hey, John, are these events on our website?
The January one is, I'm putting...
Oh, you cut out.
No, so I was saying the January event is already up there, and I'm putting the February one in there right now.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And hey guys, if you guys want to advertise your Coffee and Codes, John is in charge of updating our events. So just shoot him an email. Email's the best for him, but he checks Slack too. But if you don't have his email, get it through him or me, and I'll send it to you, and you can send him the info if you want to put your chapter meetings on our website. And then I will advertise on Twitter, Facebook, and MailChimp. I'm really bad at doing our newsletter, so I'll try to advertise these too. MailChimp on these 2 ones on there. I'll work on that tomorrow or Friday or sometime this week. Okay. Anybody else got anything else?
I'll drop in real quick. The sweatshirt and the t-shirt fundraiser we did for November, I think we raised, well, it wasn't much to it. I think it was under $50. Mm-hmm. It was a small amount, nothing. It wasn't like the previous one. Of course, it was Christmas holiday, but we did raise something. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to let everybody know that. I told Toanne, but I don't think I put it out there for everybody else.
Yeah, I think that was a bad time. It was just, I forgot to order a shirt. That's how busy it was, because I had it in my shopping cart. I got distracted. I was going to wait if anybody needed me to send it to them, and then someone said, "Oh no, it's okay." And I'm like, "Okay." And then I didn't even purchase for anything for that campaign, so I felt really horrible. I was like, "Oh shit."
We still got good pricing. The products are still good. The sweatshirts are comfortable, and I think as far as I know, everybody's been happy with it. So, I mean, even just making the minimum, we still raised a little bit of money. So,
It works.
yeah, it works.
I do know that we were thinking of doing a coffee and code in March for how to choose a boot camp.
Oh.
That was something that we talked about last year.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay, we'll put that maybe for March, how to choose a boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, I actually know the owner of SwitchUp, switchup.com. You know, there's Course Report and there's SwitchUp. Those are the two who review boot camps. I actually know the owner of SwitchUp.
Cool.
So if we need someone, maybe I could ask them to be a guest speaker.
No, okay.
Okay, I'll put that on my list. Ask.
All right.
Yeah.
Jonathan Lau.
I really like the guest speakers if we can get them, especially, you know, somebody, a professional in the industry putting themselves out there like that for a lot of us beginners and people trying to break into the field. I'm really liking that.
Okay. Oh, and you guys, Mercedes is helping me with the hackathon because we're going to be hosting it in San Diego. Does anybody want to join the hackathon committee? Does anybody want to help with that? Does anybody want to come to San Diego and do it with us? All the above.
I would love to. You put me to the side because we might be moving and I don't know. I would hate to overextend myself. But yeah,
like you're anything, Carly. It's not like you don't have nothing to do.
I you know, I'm really bored, so let's add something else to the list. If you want T-shirts,
you can
T-shirt fundraiser. There you go. I got you.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep on talking, but when we get a date and a time, that'll be a little bit easier. But the best way you guys could help, kind of on a side job, like if you ever run into a company or if you are just talking to people about tech, and you can mention about MilSpouse coders and what we're about and that we are hosting a hackathon in the fall, and would they be interested in giving would they be interested in sponsoring, being a partner, giving scholarships, giving free swag? Because when I talk to people, they're like, so how can we help you? And the first thing I ask is, do you have a scholarship and do you want to give us anything? You know what I mean? So, and I'm not shy about asking for any of that stuff because I'm more than happy to ask for our group. So, and I know it's really awkward to ask for things, but it's not asking for you, you're asking for our community. Just remember that. So just say, hey, we have a hackathon coming in the fall. Would you be interested in maybe judging? Would you be interested in doing a time to be a guest speaker? Would you like to talk about your organization? So it's always nice to have people who want to donate time or donate things, money. It doesn't have to be money, but that's preferred because it's just easier for us to go through it. But yeah, so when you start to meet people and talk to people, just say, hey, just so you know, we are hosting a hackathon. We'd like to make it annually. If you would help support the military community, here are some ways you could do it. But if you don't feel comfortable and you want to send them my way, I'll be more than happy to ask. You know? Okay. Who else do we have here? Who else do we have here? Who else is here? Anybody want to talk about anything else? Oh, I know. I just mentioned how I'm going to do MailChimp. I've done one newsletter the whole time. Does anybody want to do MailChimp for me? Or is anybody interested in MailChimp? Does anybody like, I'm sorry. Does anybody like doing newsletters? No? Crickets? Bueller? Okay, fine. Okay, I'll keep it. I'll keep that on my plate then. Nothing? Who has a meeting scheduled? We have our virtual coffee and code scheduled for January and February. Do any of the other new chapters want to talk about how to boost up advertising? Do you want us to promote you guys a little bit more? What do you guys need help with? Anybody? No? Everybody's good?
I had a question on, getting that first, I guess, meeting set up with everyone since the holidays have passed and come into the new year. But um, basically, I was curious, do most of you guys like to do them on base, or do you like to reach out to like a public library, or is it just kind of where maybe the most participants can get together?
I think it's dependent on you, honestly. Oh, do you guys, I don't think everybody's met you. Do you want to introduce yourself real quick? Give you a little rundown?
Yeah, I'm Anna Gossine, and I'm located here in Tucson, Arizona, at the Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. So just wanted to say hi. I do SQL work and data management for Expedia Group, and I got my education in geographic information systems. So, and then I'm doing Treehouse right now for C#. So, yeah.
All about C# with Carly.
I know. Yeah. It's like, I might need to pick
I've got a lot of C going on in my life right now.
Anna, I think it depends on what works best for you. It's a mixture of both. Like, do you feel like you would get more people on base if you did it on base, or would it be more convenient at a public library in your area?
I think it might be a little bit more convenient for the public library in my area. I'm going to the professional network meeting tomorrow, so I was going to ask maybe them where they would recommend. So
in Northern Virginia, we started in the library, but the way the library system is set up there, you couldn't request the meeting room for like every other week, or it couldn't be a regular request. It had to be a one time. And so I could request, and then at the end of that meeting, I could request the next one. So there were times when we were locked out of like meeting every Friday because that Friday was full. So we'd have to meet on a Thursday or whatever. So but that worked for us because then everybody could get there. We had this is back when we were doing meetups on the Meetup website, Meetup app or whatever. And so we had some interesting responses from people. And because of the way the library was in that, we went to the USO on base at Fort Belvoir, which was huge and brand spanking new and all about it. And that's where it resides now. The benefit to that is you have the ID card, you're in a safe place because you had the ID card just to get on base. And then once again, you get into the USO. So you're not dealing with a lot of other people who might not be in MilSpouses or might not have your best interest at heart. And parking was great. That was the other thing. Parking was good, both the USO and then at the library. So this USO has great parking that we're looking at here in San Diego for that. And while you don't need an ID card to get to the building with the USOs in, you do have to have an ID card to get in the USO for that. So I don't know if that makes any difference or not. Our library was free too. Some libraries charge. Here in San Diego, the libraries charge like $10 to use the meeting room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, I would just definitely check because I know our local library here does things like even differently than that. So it's going to vary based on the system.
Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you, you guys.
If you decide to have a night meeting, one of our chapter leaders, probably over a year and a half ago, she was meeting at a coffee house at night because it was convenient for her. But she went to a meeting and she was the only female there. And these other men, I think one was a veteran and the other one wasn't even related to the military because we had meetup.com. And it was just a really awkward, almost dangerous situation for her. It's like she was considering having someone walk her out to her car because it was at night, Friday night, she's by herself. So we're just like, okay, so if you decide to do meetings in a public place, make sure they're in the daytime, bring a friend, you know what I mean? Just don't bring your husband, bring someone, and if you decide to have night ones, make sure they're in a safe location like the USO, because they do have it at the USO at night, but we know you have to have an ID to get in. So it just kind of depends on what works for you, but just be safe about your surroundings.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Anybody have anything else? It's kind of a short meeting because we have things that we need to work on, and I just want to check in with everybody, see how everybody's doing. So we're getting we got a new chapter. We have the Tucson one, and we got one in Germany. So that's kind of exciting too. So I feel like we're going to try to do better about getting more support for our chapters. And if you guys need some more support, don't feel shy. Like, come and ask on our Slack channel or email me. But it's tough because you're the only one doing it by yourself. And it's really hard until you get another co-chapter or someone else to help you with it. I feel like it makes a world of difference. Don't you agree, Mercedes? Like, if you're doing it by yourself, it's difficult. But as soon as you get a partner, it's like 10 times better.
Even just for the camaraderie, if your partner's not able to help out a whole lot with the admin side of it or the connectivity side of it or something, it's just nice to have somebody else who's got your back at a meeting in case you have to leave early because of the kids or you have to do something else. Yeah, it helps a lot.
So that's why I'm so happy that Mercedes is here.
And we started out with we had 2 daytime people in Northern Virginia, and then we split it to daytime and nighttime. And that was cool because then the meetings I wasn't going to make, which were the nighttime ones, were the meetings that Sarah was going to do because she couldn't make the daytime ones. And that just worked out great to spread the love so that more people had an opportunity to go.
Yeah. And they're still doing day and night ones too. They're split between Courtney and Sarah now too. Oh, and that's another thing, the Northern Virginia, neither one of them were on the call, but they relaunched, they did an Eventbrite meeting and they have a wait list. They actually had, I had someone email me like, hey, there's a new event for MilSpouse coders at the USO in Northern Virginia. Can I get in? And I'm like, I don't know. Let me find out. And they're like, no, there's a wait list. So for that, they're relaunching their meetups, their coffee and codes, and they had a wait list. So that's really exciting. And I'm really excited for them. So that might be an idea for you too, to maybe do an Eventbrite free registration about, hey, we're going to launch something. We should talk to Sarah and Courtney about how they did that, because they were even surprised. Because when I emailed them, I'm like, hey, can you get this person in? They're like, actually, no, we have a wait list. They didn't even know they were full. So we should ask them how or you could actually message them too, Sarah and Courtney on our chapter leader channel, because that's what, I think it's the 29th of this month. Oh, do you know what? I would say advertise it on our website, but I already know there's a wait list, so never mind. We can't advertise because no one could go to it anyways. But I like that. I like that they have a wait list. And I'm not sure how big the space is, but that may give them an opportunity to get a bigger space now that they know actual numbers of people who are showing up. So, okay, guys. That is all I have. Our next meeting, unless anybody has anything else they want to talk about. Availability. Does this time work for everybody? I gotta look at my schedule. I am working all Wednesdays until the 20th, and the 27th I'm off. Do Wednesdays work? Is today a Wednesday? Yes, today is a Wednesday. I had to think about that. I'm available Wednesday the 20th and the 27th, but if Wednesdays don't work, I could do the 12th, the 19th, or the 26th. Do we have a vote of anything that anybody wants?
I'm not available the 20th. We have Ombudsman Assembly here that night.
Okay.
San Diego, so not available there.
Anybody?
For me, as long as it's not a Thursday night at this point, I'm fine because I'm going to have class. But even if you have to do Thursday because it's available for everybody else, then don't worry about me. I'll watch the recording.
The only Thursday I have is the 8th that I could do. Oh, I'm sorry, the 7th. I can only do the 7th. Or the 21st. I lied.
No, well, we don't want Thursday though, because we want Carly there because we like her.
Yeah, we do. How do we feel about Tuesdays? How do we feel about Tuesdays?
Tuesdays work?
Tuesday's an okay day of the week because it's the day after Monday, and I'm really not over Monday yet,
That could work, yeah. It'll be fine Tuesday.
Tuesdays, I have Girl Scouts. I can't do Tuesdays. Sorry, I forgot.
I've got sports starting up too, so I don't mind.
How does Wednesday the 27th look for everybody?
That looks fine for me.
I think I'm good.
All right.
Okay.
I'm putting it in now.
Wednesday, next meeting will be Wednesday the 27th February of 27th. Oh, do you know what, you guys? I forgot. I got a message from Sabio Coding School. They're based in LA, and they wanted to know if we have an LA chapter, and we didn't. But she's willing to do free intro to coding workshops. So she's going to do one for our San Diego chapter when we get it up and running. But I'm thinking maybe she might want to maybe do a guest. She could be a guest speaker for you guys.
That sounds cool. Yeah.
I'm going to ask her about that.
Ask her about that.
To do that for Code and Coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or any of your guys' chapters, if you guys want an intro to coding workshop. I don't know what the stack she uses. I have to find out. But if you guys want a guest speaker, we could arrange that for you guys too, and I could ask her.
Anna, something to think about when you're looking at a place to meet is if it has video screen and Skype ability or Zoom ability. This USO here in San Diego does, Toyin. They have this big, they said, yep, you just hook up your computer to this screen, and we've used it for meetings before when they've had to Skype people in. So we have that opportunity in case there's other speakers that want to come that don't live close to us.
Very near us.
Thank you.
I was thinking another thing too, like if for some strange reason you are at a chapter and you want to like join another chapter's meeting, you guys could do that too if you just call in. We just need to coordinate it. So as long as we're sharing and advertising and telling everybody what we're doing, like if you want to meet someone Anna's in Tucson. So like if you want to hook up with the San Diego chapter the same nights, you guys could just call in to our chapter meeting. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's a great idea.
yeah, because we're all remote. No need to be in person all the time. Okay, next meeting is Wednesday, February 27th. Does this time work? Do we want it to be earlier, the same, or later?
I want it to be the same.
Time?
Yeah,
That
time.
works for me. Yeah.
Okay.
So now I can go to bed.
17:30. Okay. It works. 20:30 Eastern. Okay, guys. It was a short and sweet meeting. See you guys in February, or we'll talk online. You guys have a good night.
You too.
Thanks,
Bye.
Ray. Bye, everybody.
Bye.